It is pure pandemonium in Sacramento.
The South Beach boys make the trip to Northern California with playoff implications on the line. Sacramento Miami FC USL Championship on this Saturday night is presented by UC Davis Health. What an evening it has been already across the USL Championship, and here all eyes will be on this match between the Sacramento Republic and Miami for what it could mean in
next weekend's matches. I'm Rob McAllister. With me, Adam Moffat, a special guest, of course, Cameron Owasa. Eastern Conference, many of those games already in the bags. Adam, earlier results, Pittsburgh, Detroit. One of the two teams fighting for that spot is Miami and Detroit. And those results have implications of what could happen here tonight for Miami FC.
Detroit earlier today, tying against Pittsburgh, means that Miami tonight have to get at least a point to continue their season, or they are done. Other things going on there. Tampa Bay Rowdies just won, so that could affect our Sac Republic a little bit, but this Miami team tonight, it's going to be interesting. Do they go really aggressive, or do they just play for the point? We shall see.
They won 4 straight. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference, Cameron, Sacramento's
the only team that knows what they're going to be doing next weekend. Some of these teams might be playing at home, but
between 2 and 8, it's all mixed up.
Yeah, you mentioned Tampa Bay getting the result. That means that Sacramento needs a win tonight to lock up the second overall seed, second only to Pittsburgh in the Eastern Conference. But yeah, the Western Conference is all over the place. San Antonio, they're playing right now. They could drop to as low as 4. They might keep that 2 spot. The one that I'm keeping an eye on is Oakland at home against El Paso. Oakland must win to get that 8th spot in the playoffs.
So who will Sacramento face? We'll wait and see, but we know this guy will be on the pitch tonight. Jacker, been brilliant. 2 assists a week ago, Adam.
He's really picked it up as of late. Maybe a little dry spell with the rotations, but what a season for him. Last season we thought, can he add more goals, more assists? And he's certainly done that. One of the best players in the USL this whole season.
He's averaging more than 2 chances per match, too. He's going to get some opportunities to create some goals tonight. Mark Briggs said they're going for it, Cameron Owasa. But meanwhile, we're familiar from this face. Joaquin Rivas having a fantastic year, double-digit goals.
Yeah, Sacramento Republic fans will probably remember this guy. I had the pleasure of playing with him back in 15 and 16. And very, very dynamic player. Really good on the ball, super quick, and a really dangerous left foot. I mean, he's really come into his own the past couple of seasons and is a really, really dangerous threat.
Well, this is a Miami team that's hungry. They've traveled a very long way, but they know what's on the line. A trip to the postseason, take on Pittsburgh a week from today. Meanwhile, Sacramento will wait. Mark Briggs wants the victory, wants his guys in top shape. We'll see how it all shakes out. Starting lineups and much more coming up right after this.
The fun has begun. The Apex at Red Hawk Resort Casino is now Northern California's premier family fun destination. Get your heart racing on this spectacular 3-level indoor kart track. If bowling is up your alley, there are 18 lanes of fun at the Apex, plus a mind-blowing virtual reality arcade, incredible golf simulators, and one of the best sports bars anywhere. We're taking entertainment to a whole new level. It's the Apex at Red Hawk Resort Casino.
How do you build a community that thrives? By staying active, by working and playing together, and by building strong bones and bodies with food that's simple, local, and fresh. Crystal Creamery has proudly supported Central Valley athletes and athletic programs since 2012. Because when you nourish a community, the community thrives. Crystal Creamery, simple, local, fresh.
This is the look of a woman who fought cancer for years with no answers. A woman who bravely championed her own health and found a doctor who'd do the same. A woman whose ending was rewritten when she found remission. UC Davis Health. From the extraordinary to the routine, we're discovering healthy and changing real people's lives right here in the Sacramento region. UC Davis Health. Discovering healthy.
Strength and conditioning coach Luke Brady, Director of Sports Performance Katie Norton, Athletic Trainer Dave Redmond, For the manager, Alejandro Caparelli. Welcome. We heard this song a little bit earlier, and nobody knew what song it was. So I'm going to correct that right now. We're in Heart Health Park, and it's time to kickstart your heart right now.
The presentation, tonight's broadcast, is brought to you in part by UC Davis Health and by Western Health Advantage.
Miami, Sacramento, let's take a look.
At our starting 11, the Republic, led by Mark Briggs, 3-4-3. Couple of changes, Rodrigo Lopez and Christian Pirano getting the start. A little bit of a rest for Keko and Sebastian Herrera heading into the playoffs.
A little bit of rest, but that's a strong lineup for this Republic side. Mark Briggs spoke about it all week. He wants to keep the rhythm. He wants to get this victory at home heading into the playoffs.
Meanwhile, for Miami, we've seen a couple of different lineups for them, but typically a 4-3-2-1. They've kept it consistent. You see here a 3-4-3 if not, but they've got a lot of guys who can put it in the back of the net, Cameron.
Yeah, very dangerous lineup, and you know, their top lineup, they've got everything to play for to get that playoff spot. So they're coming out here as strong as they can, looking to get all 3 points, and at the very minimum, they got to get out of here with 1.
Here's Lewis Neal leading the team here, played MLS, DC, Orlando, now taking over Miami. Our referee is Thomas Snyder, as he will take care of a match that maybe a week ago, fellas, we weren't quite sure if this would be as big, but it's going to be a big one for both teams. Here it goes. Sacramento, Miami from Heart Health Park. Russell Ciserone already a threat. Paco Craig able to dribble away and send it back upfield. Miami FC trying to get that final spot in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, for Sacramento, a victory would give them the #2 overall seed, which could be important if Pittsburgh in the championship game does not make it there. That means Sacramento could host here if they get to the USL Cup final. Republic on the year, 61 points, 41 points for Miami. But Miami may be one of the hottest teams in the league right now. And for a Sacramento team, they're likely going to want to stay right in the thick of things. They feel like they're building some momentum. Cameron, how important is this going into tonight to try to get a result for the Republic?
Yeah, a lot of people might look at this and think it's a game that doesn't matter, but it really does. Not only for trying to get that 2nd overall seed, but you want to ride the momentum into the playoffs.
Momentum here. Gurr whipping this ball in, looking for Cicerone, punched away by Maguire. Here's a chance for Alder, and a tap for Cicerone's denied. Oh, a quick score almost coming for the Sacramento Republic.
What an opportunity. I mean, a little bit scrappy there. You think Maguire maybe could have done a little better on that punch out. Alder Sanchez does a good job just getting that back into the mix, and I think Russell Cicerone could have put it pretty much anywhere but there. It's a little bit of a blind one. You know, you don't really see the defender there. You see that the keeper's out of his box, but just really unlucky there.
It really would have changed the complexion of the game if Paco Craig doesn't stop that on his line. Republic go up a goal early. Miami in a really tough position. They don't want to be opened up. But what you will take from that is the fact that Jack Gurr swung that in. Maguire didn't look comfortable. And if I'm Jack Gurr, I'm going to continue crossing balls in like that.
Yeah, and for me with the Republic, the most dangerous this team looks, you know, consistently throughout the years when Jack Gurr is getting in those spaces and whipping in balls in behind the back line.
Alder Sanchez getting quite a few minutes with the injury to Dami Villader, and he has filled in admirably. The youngster, just 20 years of age. When he joined this team, he's now 21. As a trialist and has been on that left wing, nearly getting the assist to Russell Cicerone, who has 14 goals on the season and got what ended a dry spell of about 2 months after getting the goal a week ago down in Edinburgh, Texas against RGV. Here's Rodrigo Lopez getting the start tonight. Christian Pirano, they want to try to find him some minutes. So good dribbling in space. He's got everybody chasing him on this side. Out to Alder Sanchez. Open for Lopez here. Roro might go for goal. Roro! And it's a good stop by Jake Maguire. The Pomona, California native comes up big, but Rodrigo Lopez, eyes as big as ever. Almost another quality chance for Sacramento to make it through.
Yeah, he just finds himself in a little more space, and I think Miami's comfortable with, and he decides to have a go. He puts a little bit of swerve on it, which gives Maguire some trouble. In the end, does a really good job to secure that one and prevent the second opportunity.
Connor Donovan getting a little bit out. There's Kyle Murphy. Kyle Murphy trying to go. 6 goals, 2 assists on the year, and he's played just about everywhere in the USL. In San Antonio, Loudoun, Tampa Bay, Memphis, before coming to Miami in 2022, and he's his second leading goal scorer for this Miami team. Let's take a look at our Delta Dental inactive report. Good news here, Adam, a lot of guys back, including Matt LaGrassa, who's not on the injury report. He's in the 18 tonight. Fortunately, Domi's still on there, Keko, and Sosa trying to work his way back. The Republic getting healthy into the playoffs, which is always a good sign. Over the top, looking for Murphy again. Pirano. Russell Ciserone in stride. Lope. And look at almost a pass to himself here. Good hustle from Russell Ciserone. Cicerone trying to play to the other side, didn't see the defender, and it's cleared wide by Stanley. Public attack looks good early. Miami has had little problem scoring goals. They have 43 on the year. Fortunately, they've allowed 43. And they're going against a team where they need to find a result tonight. Sacramento, the best defensive team in the USL Championship, having allowed just 26 goals all season long. Craig. Lopez, quick tap. Cicerone looking to make another strike on it.
And that dynamic here is going to be what I'm going to be interested to see tonight with Roro and Cicerone and Pirano up front. Obviously, with Herrera out, you miss that big, strong body up top, but I think a little bit more of a free-flowing front three with those 3 guys. They can each kind of drift in and out, drop underneath a little bit, and turn and run at the back line, and I think that could create a lot of trouble for Miami.
Might bring up some opportunities for someone like Luis Felipe tonight to fill in some gaps. Nick Ross, Luis Felipe, your midfielders today that will likely sit back a bit more, but you'll find a much more aggressive Luis Felipe in 2023.
Yeah, and those runs from deep are so hard to track. You know, you're asking your holding midfielders to track all the way back with the back line. Otherwise, you end up outnumbered, and it just creates havoc.
For Miami, just to be in this position, an up and down season, and they go on to win 4 straight to put themselves in a really good spot to earn that 8th position. And you know, as the playoffs come, while Pittsburgh has had a fantastic season, there's no guarantee that they go on to win round 1.
There is not, and those are always the teams you're kind of worried about playing against. You know, you can finish first, yeah, but this team, they've been in the playoffs for probably a month, and the fact that they've put themselves in this position, they will be so disappointed if they don't get it done tonight, Miami. But if they can keep playing like they're doing, they're full of confidence that they can get at least a point here to Sacramento. And Roro called on that, just coming in from behind.
2 former Republic players played together here in 2015. Joaquin in 15 and 16 seasons, and it's great to see Rivas continuing on. He played at Tulsa, St. Louis, back to Tulsa, and then here in Miami. And not only has become a formidable goal scorer, Cameron, but he's a great guy. We love to see him back here. Just don't score any goals tonight, right, Joaquin?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd be pretty happy if he doesn't score against us here at home, but you're right, he has really, really blossomed. He and I were kind of in the same boat in that early, 2015 year, both coming in and as young players and trying to find our way in this league, and we both didn't really have a great season, and it was a bit of a struggle, but he's really taken his opportunities since he's left this club and really come into his own. He's become one of the better goal scorers in this league, and also for his national team, he's gotten a lot of caps and has scored some goals internationally. So it's been really, really cool to follow his career and see the way that he's progressed and become, a star in this league.
Well, one of the losses that really was critical for them, there's a 2-1 defeat to Detroit, and Rivas was on international duty during that time. A little quick tap here from Roro, looking for Cicerone, tripped up. A lot of bodies flying around. Sacramento with a great chance again. 3 quality looks, really putting pressure on the back line and Jake McGuire.
And the foul was called on Cicerone, a little shove in the back. You like the idea though, a little give and go. Cicerone plays it to Roro, and that's what them set up this week gives you. There was not much contact in that one, but referee did call a free kick.
Yeah, center back makes a bit of a meal of it, but I think you know, Adam, he's always going to get that call. Referee gets put in a really tough position if he lets that one play. So even though it's some light contact, anytime the hand touches the back, especially in the box, it's a pretty obvious one.
There's Paco Craig, 2 goals, 2 assists on the year.
Adam, I know you never went down easy like that ever once in your career, though, right?
Never. Not once did I dive. I actually got a yellow card when I was a youth player. I was about 16. I got a yellow card for diving. When I was fouled, honestly, I swear I was fouled. That was the only time I can remember.
Can we go to the tape on that?
I don't know if we had tape back those days.
Back in the 60s?
Yeah, there's.
Luis Felipe looking to find Ciserone. Pirano's going to run the central theme. He's got Jack Kerr to his right. Ciserone has options, may take it himself. Oh, it's denied by Aiden Stanley.
Ciserone there, looks like he's looking for that pass, waiting for that gap to open up, and Miami just kept dropping and dropping and dropping, forced his hand. He decided to let one go. Unfortunately, you know, ends up hitting it right into the defender, but I like the decision there to be aggressive and go ahead and have a hit.
You saw the support and run from Jack Kerr. It puts the defender in 2 minds. Do I close the ball? Do I go at the runner? And then Ciserone, yes, it doesn't come off for him right now. It's blocked, but you want to see that from your strikers. Right? That's something you did, Cam, as a player. Not afraid to shoot. You know, sometimes, you know, there might be better decisions, but I think in that case, it shows his confidence. He got a goal last week. It's been a while, so you like to see that from the attackers.
Yeah, and I'm always okay with errors being aggressive. You know, I think if you over dribble and don't make the decision, that's a much worse outcome. If you make a mistake because you're being aggressive, you can live with that all day long.
2024 season ticket membership deposits are now on sale. Establish your priority with best seats for 2024. Plus, get priority for the championship playoff run. $50 deposit will get you going today. Repetto plays it forward. Good defending by Connor Donovan and Rodrigo Lopez. Now on the turn. Lee Desmond, after a couple of weeks off, is back in the 18.
See Alder Sanchez pinches in. He's able to go in the middle because this man, Rodrigo Lopez, will drift around. He's almost got a free roll underneath. And it's important that other players just take a little balance off of where he's at. And he can spray passes like that. It definitely helps.
Over the top, Alder Sanchez onside, trying to bring it down in the box, plays the cut. And Ciserone just behind, outside the 6. And Rivas will watch it out of play.
Beautiful piece of play there, though, from the Republic. Luis Felipe clipping the ball over the top for Sanchez to run onto, and tries to put that ball right in the box. Ciserone just maybe a little out in front of it. The ball maybe just a touch behind him. But ultimately, another really good chance. And, you know, getting balls across the face of goal like that, if you can do that repeatedly, you're going to end up with some clear-cut chances and some goals.
And that play starts as well. Alder Sanchez actually initiates it. You know, he doesn't just stay out wide. He came inside. He knew the space was in behind. A little bit more direct with his run, and Luis Felipe does a great job finding him. A really lively start in the attack for this Republic side. Yet to score. Paco Craig clearing that one off the line, but you feel like if they keep this up, 12 minutes into this one, Republic could get a goal or 2.
Well, Detroit rooting for the Sacramento Republic. There's no doubt about it tonight.
Same colors almost, right?
Well, it was the Detroit visit here, but Rodrigo Lopez was injured. And that devastating quad injury that we thought would be put him out the entire season, to see him with valuable minutes in what could be another fantastic run for number 8. It's going to be great to have him, and he is back. Will he go full 90? Well, hard to say, but at this point in time, just to have him for even a half, guys, is really something to say about his ability to get back in the training staff to get him healthy and ready to play.
Just his presence, you know, even if it's on the bench, definitely can be felt on the field. His experience, it's so crucial to a team trying to get in the playoffs. Wins a corner kick there.
Atlas disposal corner kick. Sacramento has been dominant at home. 10 wins, 4 draws, and just 2 losses. Looking for number 11 on the season tonight. See if they get with 64 points on the season. Good scoring opportunity here. Nobody better than Rodrigo Lopez. Nick Ross. Here's Jack Gurr. He's going to send it right back in. Looking for Donovan. Here's a follow-up. Luis Felipe. Oh, would have been spectacular. And last touch by Miami. Doing the running man, fellas. Oh my, that was sensational.
And looking for the handball, and it was a great hit for Felipe. Connor Donovan keeps it alive. Not well cleared by Miami, but it hits the hands of Stanley, but his hands are in front of his body.
Another corner kick here for Sacramento. It'll be Lopez again, the captain. With 4 assists on the year, we'll play it short to Pirano. Comes back out to Roro. And it looks like it will be another corner, 3rd in a row, as Gabriel Carbal couldn't find an outlet and concedes the corner.
The crosses have been causing problems for Miami. So here, Rodrigo Lopez, I think you just send that ball in. And you see it might not even have been Stanley. I think it was the extended left arm, and it was a handball off Ofemu.
Ball served in, looking for Connor Donovan. Jack Gurr's going to size it up, and he'll send it to the Tower Bridge Battalion.
And that was a penalty kick. There's no doubt about that. The arms of the center back were way outside of his body.
Yeah, in the USL, it's talked about a lot, right? Whether or not VAR is doable for USL, whether or not it should be implemented. I think in times like that, if you're a Republic fan, obviously you're calling for VAR. But
only when it goes in your favor, Cam.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it really does go both ways. And to me, it typically evens out in the end.
Nicely done by Rivas to keep the possession alive for Miami. Sorto. Akinyote. Weaving in is Cabral. Looking for a little possession here for Lewis Neal's side, as it has been all Sacramento on the other side of the pitch. Little tap. They're trying a little bit of trickery there. Not bad from Rivas, looking for Kyle Murphy. We'll celebrate the passion of the beautiful game with our latest collection in collaboration with local artist Rosa Antonio Cerabia, co-founders and co-directors of Azul's Design Studio, the newest addition to the team store. Check them out today.
You mentioned possession has pretty much been in the Republic's attacking half, which is obviously great, but this Miami team is a team that's built to concede possession and then hit you really quickly on a counter, and before you know it, it's 1-0 and you've controlled the game. But one quick moment, this team can jump on you like they almost did right there.
Cabral. Below. Now wide to Repetto here. Overcommit from Aldair Sanchez, gets away with it, and that will be a Miami corner kick. Miami, a resilient team. They allowed Charleston a week ago to get the opening goal in the 7th minute, and then had 2 in the second half, 56th and 80th minute, to get the 3 points to keep their season alive. Here they are in Sacramento. See if they can at least get the draw. A loss won't do it. Aiden Stanley, 23-year-old, has been very good. Nearly 3,000 minutes played so far this year for Miami. Ball served in, dangerous, looking good for Miami for a moment. The Republic able to clear.
Rivas from distance takes an awkward hop. And it's Danny Vidiello coming up with a big stop.
And there's that left foot for Joaquin Rivas. Very, very dangerous. Anytime you give him that sort of time on his left foot, you see there, he puts in a strike with a lot of pace on it. I think it came through a couple of bodies that, where Vidiello didn't have a good angle on it. All of a sudden that ball gets on you quickly, and in the end, a really good job to make that stop and keep this one at 0-0.
Gurr's going to switch the field, looking for Roro. It's a bit short below. We'll let it fall to McGuire. Well, choosing the right health plan for you and your family is simple with Western Health Advantage. Check out their affordable plans, been keeping the community strong for more than 25 years. Go online to westernhealth.com. McGuire, 1.45 goals allowed per match, 16 and 11 appearances. 3 shutouts on the year. He's been the man of late. A whistle comes in the favor of Miami.
Just keeping an eye on scores around the USL. The Republic will still finish first in the West, but San Antonio hosting Indy 11. They were down 3-1. They're back to 3-3 right now. They're up a man. And then the other scores, which really could affect who Republic will play next week. Oakland at home losing 2-0 against El Paso 20 minutes into the game.
So if El Paso would win, it would drop New Mexico down to 8. And then New Mexico would be coming here to Sacramento. So it's a game that everyone's going to be keeping an eye on, especially those 3. Monterey Bay, RGV out of the competition at this point. Opportunity Rivas, and looking for a handball with Sacramento, won't get it. Rakignoti.
And if you're the Republic, I think you just take solace in the fact that you're hosting that game regardless of who the opponent is. You can split hairs on who you'd rather see or who you'd rather face in that first round playoff game, but at the end of the day, you got to go out and get a W regardless of who it is.
New Mexico, Sacramento, a scoreless draw last time they faced here. And we see just how balanced the league is nowadays. I mean, you look at this Miami team, they don't look like an 8 seed to me. I mean, they've got a lot of quality players on here, veterans who have been in the USL for quite some time. I don't think 6 years ago the 8 seed looked as good as this Miami team does, who's fighting to get in.
No, not at all. I mean, we didn't, there wasn't playoff buys, but at times there was teams that almost felt that way, or regular season you could look at your roster and count up 5 or 6 wins before you even played them. And that certainly is not the case anymore. Even the teams at the very bottom of the table, I mean, you see Las Vegas, they finished with a pretty abysmal record in the league this year, but the games against Las Vegas for the Republic this year were not easy games, particularly that game on the road this year. I mean, that was a struggle to come out with all 3 points that night.
Lopez looking for Ciserone. Cicerone's dragged down.
Big yellow card for Paco Craig too.
And that's going to be tough. This is a very short bench tonight, as they just have 4 outfield players available for selection. And Paco Craig already on notice, 23 minutes in. What do you like here?
Well, I think that's a very crafty move from Cicerone there, because while there's no doubt it was a foul, it wasn't a whole lot in it. I think he gets a little tug. I think if he really wanted to, he could stay on his feet in that situation. But, makes a lot out of it, shows the referee, hey, I got tugged here, and really forces his hand. And now a really dangerous situation here to put a strike on net and try to test Jake McGuire here.
Any guesses who you think will take this one?
It's got to be your captain, right?
You don't think he'll give this up to anyone?
He's got the armband. He gets the first right of refusal.
Yeah, I don't think. It's probably 99.9%. This is only one person taking this.
You know Jack is sitting there begging for it, though.
And these are the ones where it's so close to the top of the box. Sometimes it's tough to get up and over the wall.
Yeah, you'd almost prefer it to be 3 or 4 yards further back.
A little
right?
further back. But you can go where the goalie's at right now. You can go to his side and put it through the bodies. Hopefully he doesn't see it, enough pace on it. But
also a rebound situation could be vital here. Can Sacramento find one in the 24th minute?
I'm looking, I think Roro's going to go at the goalkeeper side here. I think he's going to pretend he's going over the wall.
Roro dipping it in, hits off the car. Pirano not done. Pirano follows it up, and it's denied by Stanley. What a brilliant look that would have been. Inches away.
What a strike for Roro there. I mean, you spoke about it, how difficult it is to get that ball up and dip it, and he was, I mean, 3-4 inches away from doing it perfectly. I mean, just denied by the crossbar, but absolutely incredible technique there to get that one up and over and almost dipped underneath. I mean, McGuire was beat there, there's no doubt about it. Just the crossbar is the only thing that keeps it out.
We've seen Rodrigo Lopez do just about everything, haven't we? So we're not surprised by anything anymore.
Definitely not. I mean, the left foot's not bad, but that right foot has all kinds of quality that there's not many players in this league possess. I certainly never possessed that sort of quality in either of my feet.
Together? No, not me neither, so.
Lopez delivering to Gurr. Sorto applying some pressure. Pirano battling Akinyode. Belvic done a nice job of, when it's not there, still retaining possession. We've seen in games where they struggle that seems to be a real sore point where they give up the ball back too easily and allows the opponent to maybe gain confidence or really even a good scoring opportunity. Tonight we've seen much better control.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird word for it, but I would say it's almost like a sign of maturity that, you know, you can recognize the proper situations to try to go forward and not force it all the time. Being content with bringing it out and having the confidence that you can keep the ball and wait for those opportunities to arise and then attack. And I think the Republic, you know, with the flying hot start at the beginning of the year, they did that really, really well, and maybe lost that a touch in the middle of the season when the results were a little bit more up and down. And I think that's a really, really good sign heading into the playoffs if that sort of thing is back.
Slaloming through the entire defense here is Ciserone, finding a chip here for Gerg. Opportunity for Alder Sanchez. Defensively, Miami getting back and able to make the play is Claudio Repetto.
Initiated by Russell Cicerone, just weaving his way through and just putting it in the path of Jack Gurr. We spoke about just the support he has, but great play by Cicerone. You just love the aggressiveness you spoke about earlier, Cam, and this ball's just begging to be tapped in, and they get the corner kick.
Nick Ross. Pirano. Make a move to his left-footed strike, and it's just off the mark. He may be one of the quickest guys in the Western Conference. He is able to get a shot off so quick.
I tell you what, it's a lot more fun rooting for him and, you know, and getting to just enjoy watching him play as opposed to being on the field going against him, because that guy was an absolute nightmare to try and stay in front of. And like you said, that ball's like a magnet on his foot, and he's so quick, and he can turn you and cut you and just do all these different things. Before you know it, he's putting a ball either in the back of the net or serving it on a platter for somebody else. But the Republic just continue to pepper the goal, and you've got to think that one of these has got to get home, you know, after a while.
Felipe. Got tangled up. Craig can't handle it. Here's Pirano, and it's saved a bit too easy for Jake McGuire.
He's trying to chip the goalkeeper there, Christian Pirano. And Paco Craig, for half a second, thought about pulling them back, and that would have been the end of his night. He lets Pirano go. McGuire off his line. Pirano can't get enough contact on it. Comfortable for the goalkeeper in the end.
Looking to be a little cheeky, and you know, if the goalkeeper doesn't go down, sometimes you look a little bit foolish, but I like the idea there. He didn't really have much of an angle. It would have had to be a really, really impressive strike to beat him from there, and so, hey, might as well try something, you know?
Wow. That's a rough call there. I don't know if there's any contact. Either way, Sacramento continuing to apply pressure on this Miami side who needs a result. They want to find themselves playing next Saturday at Pittsburgh.
And looking at the table, again, the result really does not matter in terms of the table for Sacramento, but what it does is this place has to be your fortress for the next month. So if you can get set, this is a playoff level team they're playing against here against Miami tonight. They're going to face that next week, whether it be El Paso, Oakland, or New Mexico. So it's the preparation. If you know you can take care of business, packed house, the fans are incredible tonight, and it just gets you mentally prepared, which is massive heading into the playoffs.
Crystal Creamery has been building strong bones and bodies with the freshest dairy from the Valley since 1901, taking pride in delivering dairy you can trust. Simple, local, fresh. Throw for Sacramento 30 minutes in.
Something about when the air starts to cool down too, it really feels like the playoffs, doesn't it?
Change of the season, yeah.
Well, they used to be in September. Now they're in November almost. So. Tower Bridge Battalion has their drums going. Packed house here at Heart Health Park. Sold out crowd. Talking to Joaquin Rivas before the game, and he just said, this is awesome. We're so excited to play in front of 12,000 fans like this. Fortunately, Miami doesn't get quite the crowds that we're used to here. Very lucky. Rodrigo Lopez making a run. Shane Wheat.
That's no slight to Miami. Most teams in USL do not get the crowds that we get here. It's a very special place to play, and as Adam mentioned, with the playoffs coming up, the hype around the team, and everyone is sensing it. They're starting to really, really show up and pack the house. And, it's really special when there's 12,000 people on their feet screaming.
Give credit to Sacramento. They have come out in this game and treated this like a playoff game. Probably easy to sort of in the back of your mind say, well, it doesn't really matter what we do tonight, but the mentality has been great. Mark Briggs talked about all week. It has been going into a playoff type game. This is not something that they've taken lightly in training. They've showed it as well.
Yeah, he mentions it on the call that they're going to treat it like a playoff game and take it really seriously. And, I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like, yeah, but you say that, but how serious is that? It truly doesn't really matter that much. You got the 1 seed in the West, and to your point, it really seems like he's gotten in their heads. They've come out with a real proper mentality, and they're out here to win this game. There's no doubt about it.
I also don't think there's probably very few guaranteed spots. There's guys out there who are trying to get minutes. They might not be starting come next week, but they want to get as many minutes as they can, and this is a chance for them to prove that tonight.
Magnioti finding Sorto in space. Danny Vidiello there to meet him at the line.
To your point, Adam, all season long, the depth of this team has really shown through, right? With all the injuries that there's been, to be able to continue to keep that spot at the top of the table despite, 3, 4 starters, 5 starters out at times, it's really impressive. But at the same time, it's because this roster is so competitive. And you're absolutely right. Every single one of these guys is making a last-minute bid to be in that 11 come next weekend at the start of the playoffs.
Well, you look at this. If Sacramento was alone in first place 24 weeks this year,
they were in alone or a share of that in 31 weeks. Only one time El Paso had it in first place. That's incredible.
It really is, and the Republic have had, especially to start the season, were unbelievably hot, but it shows so much that even throughout the season at times when we felt this team was going through bad stretches or some lulls, at only one point were they ever not in first place. I mean, that is truly remarkable.
And it was El Paso, the team that was likely not going to see the playoffs, surged all the way to the top. I think they won 9 in a row. They fall out again, and now they are having an opportunity to be in 7th and find themselves on the road, either against San Antonio, Orange County, or maybe even San Diego at this point. So we'll see how things go. San Antonio final looks like a 3-3 draw against Indy 11, so currently they're at 56 points. Orange County and San Diego right now 54 points, so they would need to win to leapfrog San Antonio. Now San Diego and Orange County, should they both win, Orange County has had a tiebreaker, so it could go Sacramento, Orange County, San Diego, San Antonio. It is a wild weekend.
Yeah, I can't remember the final day of the USL ever being this up in the air. You know, coming down to the last match, it really does show the parity of this league and how competitive it is. And, you know, the margins are so small.
Here's Lopez finding Jack Gurr. And you're right, I mean, we're almost 2 weeks out. We kind of knew where the playoffs would stand. Pirano again to his right, trying to cut it back this time. And he goes right into the ad board, and it will be a corner kick. Tell you what, he was working through a little bit of an injury. He looks as fast as ever. Biggest thing Mark Briggs talked about is getting him enough minutes to get ready for a postseason run. He's looked pretty good, 35 in.
And he's a player, I don't know if he's ready to start yet. He hasn't played many minutes this year. He's had some injuries since he got here. But what a weapon to bring off the bench. We speak about Luther Archimed, but Christian Pirano, if he can get 30, 40 minutes in him.
Well, here he is. He'll take it. It punched away by McGuire. Sacramento still with it. Sanchez battling. It's the small things that Aldair will do during a game. That's one of them right there. It doesn't seem like much at the time, but gets Republic the possession back. Gurr switching the field. Pirano again to step over on Stanley. Going to his left. Going to cut this one in, looking for Jared Timmer. And Aldair Sanchez, unfortunately, won't get that call, even though the crowd was calling for it. Well, with that, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor at SMUD.
With SMUD rebates, you'll save big. Save money and save the planet for generations to come. Get rebates up to $3,500 from SMUD on clean power appliances, electric vehicles, and much more at cleanpowercity.org.
This is the first ever matchup between Miami and Sacramento. I've really enjoyed this year too, seeing every single team across the league. I think it's something I hope we get back to. There's so many seasons. We were just seeing a few of the teams, and sometimes 4 times in a row, and in a year, I should say. And it's really been nice to see so many different players come through Sacramento, or Sacramento travel to a new location.
Yeah, it's something I was begging for when I was still playing. It seemed like such a waste that we have this league filled with all these good quality temes, and you never got to
Tacoma 4 times.
You never got to compare yourself against the Louisvilles and the Tampa Bays and these teams that were dominating the East. You know, how good are they? You know, because we never got the chance to play them, and so I think it brings a lot of credibility to this league that you get to travel across the nation and actually play everybody. It's really, really important, and I think it's going to be a huge thing moving forward as this league continues to grow.
Shane Wheat, crowd likes it. Toe tap from Roro. Ofemu, and there is a whistle.
Ciserone was offside when Roro flicked it on, and then once he decided to go press him, the referee decided to put the flag up.
The rare case where too much hustle was a bad thing.
Too much hustle from Russell.
How about Russell Ciserone? Talk about an Iron Man. He's appeared in all 36 games of the Republic this season. And pretty incredible. 33 USL, 33 US Open Cup. This makes 34 in the USL, so now 37.
And he never looks like he's slowing down, right? I mean, to the last minute of the game, he's sprinting around, you know, being a pest for opposing back lines, and most importantly, he's the most dangerous player on the field at all times. I mean, he's a goal-scoring machine, rarely misses opportunities when he gets them, and not only is he, you know, is he lethal in front of goal, but he creates a ton of opportunities, not only for himself, but for others as well.
You ever play that many games? You ever get Iron Man? You didn't get too many injuries, right?
No, I had a couple ankles here and there or something like that, but I think I had a few seasons where I played almost every game.
How about you, Adam? You were here for a couple years, but I don't remember most.
Oh, yeah, look at the game right now there. No, I think the most I probably played in a season was maybe 25.
But you got a whole 34 whatever games it was then into those short games, so we appreciate that. There's a cross here coming for Sacramento. Opportunity looking for Alder Sanchez. Roro trying to get under it, misses both Lopez and Sorto. Or should be Rivas. And now an opportunity for, wow, that's going to have been Timmer. It just started to dip at the end there. It looked like it was going to sail, and Jared Timmer looking for #1 on the season.
I think Jared Timmer was watching Adam Moffat highlights.
Yeah, that was
and
timely, wasn't it?
He almost put himself right up there with something Adam Moffat would do. Has a strike from distance and just a yard or so over the bar, but pretty decent there, huh, Ads?
Was not far away from Timmer. You loved it. Just straight away the intent. He knew exactly what he was going to do. Is get it out of his feet and have a strike.
I love anyone who maybe watched the Republic the first time. They would think, well, that's something maybe Jared Timmer done quite often. That's the first time we've seen it all season, I think. So.
First shot he's taken?
Yeah, well, even like that, I'd say. He's had a couple chances on headers, but not a clear chance from distance.
Well, he looked pretty comfortable, you know, knocking it out of his feet and having to go. So maybe that's something that he's putting in his arsenal to get ready for the playoffs, you know, keep him guessing.
Maybe Roro will let him take the next free kick.
Sent back to Danny Vidiello. What a year Danny has had. .86 goal against average, 81 saves. 29 appearances. This is number 30.
Yeah, phenomenal season for him. But I think, you know, that number of saves, it's just a little over 2 per game. I think that's a huge credit to the back line that's in front of him. You know, his success, all the clean sheets, all of that, it's a lot to do with him and how he's played and how he organizes the back line, but definitely a huge credit for, you know, not just the back 3 or the back 5, but, you know, all 10 guys that play out in front of him. It's been a really, really good effort all season long from this Republic team defensively.
Even as good as Josh Cohen has been, no keeper in Sacramento has ever won the Golden Glove. And Danny Vidiello with an opportunity to do that tonight. Cabral.
Just remember, we're in the 41st minute, but this Miami side cannot lose this game. You know, they'll be very happy where they're at right now, 0-0. Maybe asking at halftime if it can stay this way. Their season will end if they are defeated. So a goal could really change the complexity of this match, especially if it's scored by the Republic.
Yeah, I think as far as what could be the most exciting, I think the Republic getting a goal could make for some serious fireworks in the second half, because you know Miami is going to be throwing everything forward. And I also don't think the Republic are going to be content to just sit back if they get a 1-goal lead. So I think and they've been knocking on the door all this entire first half, so if they can get one in, I think that could make for some serious action.
Republic very aggressive out of the gate. Several really good chances. Unable to break through. It's scoreless. 43 minutes gone by. Christian Pirano, he's had a couple of nice looks as well. Roro almost had the set piece of the year. Just smacking the crossbar on a foul that Russell Ciserone was able to draw just outside the 18.
Other games, Orange County are leading at Monterey, which puts them a point above San Antonio as it stands. Would give them the second seed in the West.
Meanwhile, El Paso up 2 goals on Oakland still, and they would find themselves in the 7th spot if that result holds. Las Vegas, San Diego getting underway. And what I've liked about this Miami and Detroit battle is that they've each had to play arguably the 2 best teams in the entire USL Championship. Detroit taking on Pittsburgh, Miami taking on Sacramento, and neither bodily side in Pittsburgh took it easy, and it was like Sacramento's taking it easy. And that, you like to see that 8th seed in the Eastern Conference is going to be decided by the team who goes out and performs the best.
Cam, do you remember any final day, regular season games where something was on the line?
Yes. Well, in 2016 was actually the last year that I played with Rivas. We had to go into Tulsa. We were away at Tulsa for our last game of the season, and we clinched the 1 seed. So that was a final day, locking up that 1 seed. I don't remember a final day as far as whether or not we made the playoffs. Unfortunately, my last year playing, the final day didn't mean anything for us because we had already missed the playoffs. But
you scored in it though,
and you had a great somersault, not a somersault, backflip, front flip. What did you do?
It was a cartwheel, I believe.
Cartwheel.
there was no playoffs after the game, but I got a cool highlight out of it. So that was pretty sweet.
Here's Rodrigo Lopez, Sacramento applying some pressure here. Gerzov to the right. There'll be Lopez cutting inside instead. She's trying to find a run. They're going to recycle this back out. And that will bring the half to an end. So Miami hanging in as the Republic threatening multiple times, but unable to find that early goal. And so we go to the break, no score between Miami FC and the Sacramento Republic. The playoffs on the line for Miami, trying to get into that HB. The Republic looking at number 2 overall spot. We've got 45 minutes to play. Should be a good one. Stick around.
The fun has begun. The Apex at Red Hawk Resort Casino is now Northern California's premier family fun destination. Get your heart racing on this spectacular 3-level indoor kart track. If bowling is up your alley, there are 18 lanes of fun at the Apex, plus a mind-blowing virtual reality arcade, incredible golf simulators, and one of the best sports bars anywhere. We're taking entertainment to a whole new level. It's the Apex at Red Hawk Resort Casino.
This is the look of a little girl with big dreams, but only one last hope. A girl whose organs were shutting down as she was growing up. A girl who finally found her spotlight when she found her specialist. UC Davis Health. From the extraordinary to the routine, we're discovering healthy and changing real people's lives right here in the Sacramento region. UC Davis Health. Discovering healthy.
Are you ready to join the charge and put down the pump? If you're ready for a clean start, contact SMUD first. We'll help you find ways to save, share the best options to charge at home or on the go, and answer any questions you have about owning an electric vehicle. For everything you need to know about buying, charging, saving, and low rates, start here. Contact SMUD first at smud.org/drive-electric.
Halftime is brought to you in part by Modelo, Red Hawk Resort and Casino, and by SMUD. Welcome back inside Hart Health Park. Rob McAllister, Adam Moffat, Cameron Owasa. Cameron, really quick, your thoughts on Sacramento's first 45?
I think it's a bit of a mixed bag. You got to be really happy with the chances that were created and, you know, just the attacking play, the amount of pressure they put on Miami. But at the same time, you got to be disappointed that it's still 0-0.
Yeah, almost a wonder goal from Rodrigo Lopez. How about from Miami? They need a result tonight, Adam.
They do, and they'll be happy that they are in the playoffs currently. If they give a goal in the second half, it is going to completely change the complexity of this game. So they'll be happy right now, though.
Well, it's been a busy week for the Sacramento Republic on the pitch. They've also teamed up with SMUD earlier, part of the Giving Back campaign that the Republic have been involved in all week, and they even got involved with a board game called STEM. Let's check it out.
Today we are at Northwood Elementary School with Jared Timmer visiting some of our students in our STEM Goals program.
Appreciate you guys having me out here.
The game is a game that SMUD partnered with Sac Republic to develop. It is a game to use soccer as a catalyst to get the kids excited about STEM topics.
They get the chance to ask a bunch of questions, move up and down, take penalty kicks. It's actually a really fun, kind of unique game and a unique way to use soccer as a vehicle to learn.
It's always amazing to be here and just to interact with the kids, play a game that's fun and, you know, have the education aspect of it, but also, you know, have like a little bit of a board game and make some jokes and laugh. What do you call a person in a novel, play, or movie?
Character.
Yeah, nice. See, look at that. It's you know, vitally important to continue an education. Gives you opportunities down the road to get into colleges, and that can set you up for, you know, a job that you want down the road.
Oh, let's go.
Lady. Always try to be the best version of yourself and to improve. So that's what I take onto the soccer field, but that's also what I try to do in a classroom. Study hard. School is important.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
A packed house here at Hart Health Park. Rob McAllister, Adam Moffat, Cameron Owasa with you on this regular season finale as the Republic taking on Miami FC. A busy final day in the USL Championship, but a couple of big news to get to. As obviously we heard last week of Pittsburgh claiming the Players' Shield as they're just above Sacramento. But don't forget the bracket challenge. You're a big bracket challenge guy, Adam Moffat.
Yeah, I mean, the bracket could change right now, so
you don't want to get in too early. Yeah.
No, not too early. Just wait until the games are over. But make sure you sign up for that. I'm not sure what the prize is, but I'm sure it's good.
It's going to be hopefully great. Yeah, and then obviously the final coming up on ESPN2 November 12th at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully it's here in Sacramento. There's still a chance for that, obviously. Long way to go. Updated bracket. This is the playoffs. If everything were to end like this currently, San Antonio would fall to third as Orange County's up a goal, but you're looking at New Mexico most likely for Sacramento unless Oakland can come back from a 2-goal deficit, guys.
Yeah, and looking at that bracket, the thing that kind of stands out to me is it's 7 teams that have had really up and down seasons, and then Sacramento Republic, who have consistently been in that one spot all year long.
We didn't think Orange County may even make the playoffs when we played them the first time down in Irvine. So you never know. Here is what it would look like in the Eastern Conference. The only difference right now will be Miami, or will it be Detroit?
And as you see, Miami currently penciled into that 8th spot.
They can finish 8th or they can finish 9th. And they have 45 minutes to see where they're going to land. I think they'll land in 9th, to be honest.
Oh?
I think Republic will get the win this second half.
All right, well, we got 45 minutes to find out. And as you guys talked about, a goal by Sacramento is going to open this game up completely, as there's no tomorrow for this Miami FC side. Fans having a good time. They're hoping to cheer on the Republic, see if they can get 3 points tonight and finish the year with 64 points. Miami trying to see if they can come up their own way to find 3 points. Stay tuned. Highlights coming up right after this.
Listen up. Why do you do it? You ignore the signs and the flashing lights.
Don't you see the work zone?
Seriously? Caltrans is working right there. Right next to your speeding car. My mom is out there. That's my dad's truck. That's my papa behind those cones.
So slow down.
Watch out for them and be alert. How would you feel if that was your dad? Be alert. Be work zone alert.
This is the look of a woman who fought cancer for years with no answers. A woman who bravely championed her own health and found a doctor who'd do the same. A woman whose ending was rewritten when she found remission. UC Davis Health. From the extraordinary to the routine, we're discovering healthy and changing real people's lives right here in the Sacramento region. UC Davis Health. Discovering healthy.
How do you build a community that thrives? By staying active, by working and playing together, and by building strong bones and bodies with food that's simple, local, and fresh. Crystal Creamery has proudly supported Central Valley athletes and athletic programs since 2012. Because when you nourish a community, the community thrives. Crystal Creamery, simple, local, fresh.
Fans here having a good time, shooting for season tickets. We saw one, I think, get it last game. I'm not sure, I've lost count. Either way, it's Fan Appreciation Night here at Hart Health Park. And Sacramento Republic and Miami FC, an aggressive Republic team right out of the gate here. In this one, we were expecting this to be a game where Miami would come out, but Republic coming out just as fierce and early on, Adam.
Right in the first minute, good combination. Pirano involved. Gurr whips it in. Maguire doesn't deal with it too well. Aldair Sanchez follows up. And Ciserone thinks he's giving his team the lead. Paco Craig, right place, right time. Stays 0-0. What a start that would have been.
I mean, if you can come out and get one inside of 90 seconds, that's always an incredible start. But they stayed foot on the gas and kept coming right at him. Roro here with a great look on goal. Gets that little bit of swerve on it. Just gives McGuire a little bit of trouble, but he ultimately does well to hold it, avoid giving up that rebound.
Makes the stop, and he'd be called on a couple more times in these first 25 minutes. And for Sacramento, not a lot threatening, but Rivas nearly sneaking this one. Danny Vidiello outstretched, making the stop. Another big-time save by Vidiello, and this was an opportunity. Ciserone fouled, and oh my, inches away, Adam Moffett.
So hard to do to get that up and over, and he's inches away, Rodrigo Lopez, from giving his team the lead. In the 40th minute, Sacramento continue. Jared Timmer trying his luck, and that was not far away. We saw a little movement towards the end there. And that was it, no goals.
No goals in the first 45. 11 shots for Sacramento. Mark Briggs got to feel good about that. A couple of key stops by Miami FC, but this is a game where 45 minutes could mean whether or not Miami is in the postseason or not. Again, they need a result. A draw or a win will send them there. Detroit City, however, hoping for a Republic goal or two to put this game away.
And I know they'll be watching. Detroit fans, players might be watching this game right now, and their season's on the line also, and it's out with their hands. That's always a tough position to be in. But I think Sacramento's going to come out this second half and go for the victory.
Yeah, certainly no fun to be Detroit, having your fate rest in somebody else's hands at the moment. But if you got Republic FC at home and you're relying on them, this season, that's been a pretty good place to be. So you would think Detroit's feeling pretty confident, and we'll see if Republic can come out and make them a happy team this evening.
No substitutions for Sacramento Republic, no changes for Miami FC. And so both will go with their original 11s here. And Miami now will head toward the north wall of the Tower Bridge Battalion. A beautiful night, low 70s. Not a wind or other weather to deal with tonight. Rodrigo Lopez. What do you expect from Miami here out of the gate, Adam Moffett?
Cautious. They're not going to open themselves up too much. They'll be happy the position they're in. Their season's still alive. They do not want to gift anything to this Republic side. So I think for them it's very cautious, solid at the back, not taking too many chances.
Yeah, and I think the first half of the Republic, we saw 11 shots, 3 on target, and some other really good chances that maybe didn't quite come off. I think more of the same from the Republic would be great, but if it is still 0-0 late into this half, come 75th, 80th minute, I wouldn't be, I would think Republic is going to press the issue a little bit, because a draw or a loss, it's the same result. I mean, maybe mentally you feel a little bit better about a draw than a loss, but as far as standings of where you're at, that's unchanged unless you get a win here.
And as this game continues, the longer it stays 0-0, just watch what's going to happen with Miami. They're going to drop deeper and deeper and try and preserve what they have. And that is going to make it really interesting, especially when you bring someone like Luther Archmed off the bench, who we know can find the back of the net.
How much minutes will you look, if you're Mark Briggs, to get to some of these guys? Because playoffs could mean extra time, ultimately playing more minutes than you expected early on. So could you come in the 60th, 70th minute and then ultimately still play an additional 50 minutes or so in the game? So we'll have to kind of see how Mark Briggs goes. He's going to want to get Luther and Zico and even Matt LaGrasse, who's back in the 18th minutes. And imagine you'll see Lee Desmond at some point tonight as well. Arnold Lopez, he will likely enter the game. So you're probably going to see 5 changes made by Mark Briggs. We'll see how those first few 15 play out here. Aiden Stanley, 3 assists. Originally drafted by Austin FC, 21st overall. Akinyote finding Stanley. Through his Paco, it's opportunity for Sorto. Sorto! And he just unable to find target. A little bit of a breakdown there as Christian Sorto weaving through, looking for goal number 4 on the year.
He does so well, just receives that ball on the turn. Does everything right except the execution of the finish. And a little bit too composed towards the end. Tries to slot it past Danny Vitiello right in the corner. Doesn't get it right, but that's the best chance we've seen all night from Miami.
Pretty good look from Rivas, pretty far out. That was probably the most dangerous one. Look at this quick touch, yeah, offside. May have gone that one right. I think Roro's hedging just a bit.
Yeah, Roro doesn't like it, but I think we had a perfect angle from here in the booth. I think he was just half a step off, and pretty good call. Roro trying to sneak back. You know, at this point in his career, he doesn't get in behind all too often, so I think his eyes lit up a little bit on that one.
Check up it. Jacker keeping this in play. Across the line. Very few times we get the direct line of someone being offside. Akinyote playing it forward.
Ciserone picking it up, driving forward here. And again, playing in that central position. He almost gets it back from Christian Pirano.
So it'll be a throw here for Sacramento. Luis Felipe just inside the circle. A few touches for Luis Felipe so far tonight. What a season he has had, even with some of the injuries, dealing with 7 goals on the year.
Anytime you get that sort of production from a guy that's holding mid, and he has at times played a little bit farther up the field, especially when Arnold's in the lineup. He's definitely stepped up a little bit, but it's production you don't necessarily expect, but it's multiple seasons in a row now that Luis Felipe has proven that he's a guy that can produce, in the attacking side of the field as well as hold down defensively.
Scored 7 in a season once as a defensive midfielder as well. All penalty kicks, so I don't know if that's the same.
Is that true?
Yeah, mostly penalty kicks.
It's hard to fact check this guy. He's one of the most, wide-ranging players we probably have ever had here. So some of the things you say, it's like, no way, and that's true. And the other ones, you say, well, that's opposite true. It probably isn't true.
Yeah, no, that's not true. I scored about 8, maybe 8 or 9, actually.
See, that's what I'm saying. Good thing there's the internet. We can look this up, but we'll pay attention to
It's on there
instead.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Along with that highlight of me diving, getting a yellow card.
Okay. Well, a week from today, 7 o'clock kick, Western Conference quarterfinal match. Who will Sacramento play? Here's a ball through to Cicerone. Well, don't miss out. Buy your tickets. Be here at Hart Health Park for the opening round of the USL Championship playoffs. Roro finding Gurr. Gurr's got plenty of room here. He's going to whip cross in, looking for Felipe. Good look from Sacramento.
That was Felipe coming in late. He's so good at it. We spoke about the 7 goals. He almost got an 8th there.
Just really trying to drag that with him. And here comes Rivas. Rivas going to play it all the other side to Repetto, the Italian. Looking to find some space. Sanchez able to recover, and Miami FC will slow it down. Cabral finding Stanley. Stanley looking to cross this one in. Right in front of Vitiello, a crashing Kyle Murphy, who's been a bit quiet tonight. Nearly getting on the end of that one, and Miami having a little bit of life here in the second half.
Yeah, it's a couple times now they've looked dangerous in their attacking third. I mean, already a little bit better stretches of play, I'd say, than they had in the first half. Building up a little bit, switching the field, and then putting in a decently dangerous ball there. You'd like to see maybe a couple more runners in the box to give the Republic back line a little bit more trouble, but I think that's a very positive play from them.
If Sacramento can get this ball out to the right-hand side, Jack Gurr's got a ton of space. Stanley's pinched in narrow. And the fewer passes you can do it, the more time you give them. They finally get it out here. And that's where you see Rodrigo Lopez, the fact that he can play a 70-yard switch. You know, it just gives Jack Gurr so much more time and space. When it takes 3-4 passes, the whole back line shifts over the center mids. You don't quite get the same amount of space to exploit.
It's those small margins that can be all the difference, right, Ads? I mean, the difference between giving Jack time to get the ball out of his feet, look up and whip a ball in, as opposed to by the time he gets it, that outside back is shifting over and right in front of him. It really does make all the difference in potentially creating a good goal scoring chance.
Jack Gurr, 1 goal a year ago, 5 goals, 7 assists. There's going to be 6 assists here. In 2023, did have a couple in the US Open Cup.
That kind of production out of an outside wing back is, I mean, that's all league type stuff. You know, I'll leave that up to the voters at the end of the season, but I would be shocked if he doesn't find himself on one of those all league teams.
And injured for a couple of matches. Here's Craig, leaving back line a bit vulnerable. Connor Donovan. Nick Ross does so well to control, drawing the foul. The Apex is now open. Red Hawk Resort and Casino, go-karts, bowling, and more. The official casino partner of Sacramento Republic FC. Oakland got one back, 2-1 against El Paso at home.
Early in the second half, their season, they need to score 2 more. They need to score 2 more to stay in it. They're still down 1. They will throw everything at it.
Anwar Pelez running the lead for Oakland. For El Paso, their lead. Here's Ciserone just outside, taking a step here, playing it forward, looking for Pirano, nearly played back. Sacramento again, knocking on the door. You think about no Christian Herrera today, and he's the big time, or excuse me, Sebastian Herrera, and you have Christian Pirano in there, but a very much different look in terms of what you're getting out of one of those top attacking positions.
Well, in that particular moment right there, I think is a little bit of the difference is the out-and-out striker mentality to try to make that hard run across the front. I think Sebastian maybe gets in there and gives himself a chance to score on goal.
McGuire punches this away.
Adam, I don't know how you feel. That's a disappointing corner for me because that was an incredible ball in there. And not one runner is getting across the keeper there to where he's a comfortable punch that was really at head height. And that's a ball that somebody should be there with a chance to score.
Cicerone taken down. No foul, no whistle. Kyle Murphy just outside against Connor Donovan, looking across this ball, and no runner. Pedal late arriving. Alder Sanchez will send it up to the pitch here.
That's a couple times now we've seen Miami put a pretty dangerous ball in the box and nobody there on the other end. And you wonder if maybe that's part of the mentality that they are content trying to keep this at 0-0 and just get this back to the house.
And they don't have much depth on the bench. We spoke about not too many outfield players, a couple of them are young academy players. Players coming back from injury, so maybe some tired legs in the next 30 minutes.
Well, what a travel if they do get into the postseason. They're going to come here and then have to go all the way up to Pittsburgh as well. So the airline miles will definitely be in the positive, but travel will not be for this Miami team. But I'm sure there's a different energy and buzz once you get there, right? Your adrenaline kicks in at a different level.
You get the full week of recovery, you know. I mean, the travel is not ideal, but
in space here, playing across the face of goal again. No Miami FC player making a run.
Exactly what we spoke about there, Cam, and just such a dangerous ball, just begging for someone to tap it in, and just not committing enough bodies forward. And you understand why they're not committing too many bodies forward, but it's far more comfortable for them if they're up 1-0 than being at 0-0 here.
Down a goal against Charleston a week ago, and Rivas, one of the heroes, a goal and assist, and he was named Player of the Week for his efforts. Keko and Jack Gurr joining him on Team of the Week. Toronto. Sorto playing this ball forward. And a good step here again by Cabral. And nicely done by Pirano to just allow the contact to come, but may have taken the worst of that one. Elk Grove Charter School believes nobody succeeds alone, now enrolling students. Jacker along the touchline. Jacker is going to play it forward. Rodrigo Lopez has the room. He's going to try to find Ciserone. He's back on side. Femu does enough defensively. And a little miscommunication between Christian Sorto and Kyle Murphy.
That last opportunity from the Republic, I think Russell realized he was just a half step offside and had to reroute his run a little bit, and I think that was just enough to throw it off to where Roro wasn't quite able to find him through for that chance on goal.
Coming up to the hour mark, I think we'll start seeing a few substitutions here soon.
Imagine Zico Lewis, Luther Archimed, probably two of the first to come off the bench for Mark Briggs' side. No movement on Lewis Niels. 20 points separating these two teams, but their objectives very different as well. Miami trying to find themselves into the postseason. Sacramento looking to begin the postseason on a high note.
And credit to Miami, they did not know until about 6 hours ago what was required of them tonight. This game, if Pittsburgh would have beaten Detroit, this game was nothing from it. It wouldn't have mattered. They were stuck in 8th. They'd made the playoffs. That game finished in a tie, and then now they're faced with a situation. It's like, hey, you're playing for your season. So I think they've done a really, really good job of kind of being prepared for it. It can be very hard for Lewis Neal as a coach to mentally prepare your players for that when you know it could be a meaningless game or not.
Well, and I'm sure there was a lot of emotions, you know, in the hotel this morning or this afternoon. You know, they had that game on. They were all watching to see if they were going to have an opportunity to come out here tonight and get themselves a spot. So, you know, there's definitely a swing of emotions there. And to your point, a lot of credit to the coaching staff and to these players for coming out with the right mentality, being ready to go.
Pirano after the effort from Luis Felipe, and he is taken down, no whistle. And Luis Felipe a bit slow as he was sandwiched on that play. Playing advantage, somehow able to get that ball out to Christian Pirano. They're just going to give him a moment to get back up. Stoppage in play is brought to you by Saha Float Spa.
He just took a knock when he went down to the ground. Luis Felipe, he does a good job getting the ball to Christian Pirano, but there's 3 bodies around him, and his head was squeezed like a vice right there. Yeah, his head looks a little skinnier now.
It's the angle. Cabral will play it back out. Safety game for Miami FC right now. Sacramento's going to add one of their most dangerous players off the bench, and arguably the most dangerous player in the USL off the bench, leading the championship with 6 goals as a substitute. The last couple have been the most impressive. I know for you, Adam, you've really enjoyed the growth of Luther Archimed here in 2023.
Fantastic. The last 2 goals he scored, we spoke about it. We spoke about it, Mark Briggs. It's just a little maturation that we've seen throughout the season. The timing of his runs is really, really great to see. And again, we spoke about having different weapons off the bench, and there's no one else in the league as good as this guy, Luther Archimed.
And it's interesting. I think he came in last season expecting to, you know, to potentially be the starter up top.
Sorto coming out. Danny Vidiello needs to head it clear. A throw for Miami FC.
You know, Luther came in looking to be a starter, to be an impact guy all the time, and then found himself in a substitutes role. And I think mentally that's a lot to deal with. For players, it's really hard to be a guy that played a lot. When he was in New York, he started a lot, played almost every game, and then to be kind of thrust into that role, oh, maybe I'm a substitute now. It's definitely an adjustment there, and I think he really struggled last season. I don't think that's unfair to say. He really had his ups and downs, and even at the very start of this season, I think it was a little bit shaky, but he's really come into his own. And as you mentioned, he's such a threat off the bench, and that's such a luxury for Mark Briggs to have.
Well, and he's so talented, and there is a hard challenge as he goes over the tackle. And he'll be issued a yellow card, a bit reckless. He was getting goals. He had 6 last year. It's not like he's been able to score. It's the way that he's scoring now that I think that everyone's more impressed with. And his first yellow card for Sacramento. The second of the game, Paco Craig with one early. And Archimed getting his name in the books right away.
And with Luther, you know, something I've noticed is there's a lot of different components to being a goal scorer. And I think the thing that's really shining through for him this year is the composure. When he gets in front of goal, it seems like he's a little bit more relaxed. You know, obviously things happen fast, but to be able to kind of slow yourself down in that moment, it makes such a big difference. And I think you can see it with the quality of some of the finishes he's had this season, especially in the last month or so.
Well, I don't think there's any mistake here that Rodrigo Lopez staying in the game right now, seeing if he can deliver one maybe to Luther. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's Miami FC on the set piece. Aiden Stanley will let it go. It'll be Cabral. Cabral's going to put this on back post, and Danny Vidiello is able to keep it. And now quickly on the run, look at Luther Archimed already having an impact. A much different game for this back line with number 17 in the game. I mean, the energy has just been brought up about 3 notches, hasn't it? That's unfortunate for the Miami back line.
I mean, the guy's a racehorse. He's just this big, fast, strong guy that he's just so much to deal with for any back line, and especially when you go from a front line of, you know, Roro and
Correct.
Christian, and, you know, Russell's not a small guy, but he's not Luther, you know, and so
different style, right?
You throw a guy like Luther up there, and it is a completely different game for those center backs to deal with.
Well, usually it's someone dealing with Sebastian Herrera all game. Here's Jack Gurr going to put this one back post. Cicerone waiting for it. Miami FC and trying to deal with it, and Repetto will just clear. They've been typically playing this battling, bruising Sebastian Herrera for 60, 70 minutes, and they got to deal with Luther, who just adds a different pace to them. It's a little bit different tonight, and this is going to be a direct attempt. Craig's able to sniff it out.
Yeah, you get all beat and bruised up for 70, you know, 65, 70 minutes, and then you get to chase someone in behind for the last 20 minutes of the game. That's not a very fun spot to be in.
Femu. And it's out of play. It will be a throw for Miami. Archimed, 23 years of age, coming from New York Red Bulls 2. He was the 13th overall pick by New York in 2021. Pressure here from Archimed. Femu. Shane Wheat battling, being held. Felipe able to stay on his feet, and now Nick Ross has space. Sorto comes to defend, trying to play a direct ball. Luther Archimed, and he is cleaned as soon as he made that pass, and Christian Sorto will be given a yellow card. So the booking to Sorto makes this second for Miami tonight. Trying to hold on for their season. Detroit City fans hoping for a Republic goal. Maybe a 2 just to feel a bit more comfortable. Jack Gurr. Nick Ross going to find Jack Gurr. Gurr just missed, struck that
3 chances in the box coming, and that is a rare mistake from Jack Gurr. Usually see a perfectly whipped ball on that opportunity.
Extremely rare from him. I mean, for my money, probably the best service from wide areas, you know, maybe in the league. You've seen it consistently night in and night out, and hey, even the best, you know, are due for a poor one every now and then. So knowing Jack Gurr, though, the next opportunity he gets is probably going to be on a platter for somebody.
Well, with that, let's take a moment here from the Office of Traffic Safety.
So you're out for a drink. Before that drink turns to drinks, make a plan to get home safe. Just call a friend, a cab, or get a ride share. Whatever you do, don't let drunk drive. Go safely, California.
Akinyoti may have just saved what could have been a Republic goal. Nick Ross going to serve this ball. Here comes Ciserone, and it's in! Russell Ciserone has set the single club record for goals in a season. It's the 51st on the year for the club, his 15th on the season. And Republic fans are loving it here, and Detroit City fans are embracing, feeling even better. About 2,000 miles away.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. What a service in the box. And we talked about runners getting across the front and making those aggressive runs into space, and that is just absolutely textbook from Russell Ciserone. He flies in, gets across the front, and I mean, squares it up with his forehead, and Jake McGuire never had a chance.
And Nick Ross was the one who drifted out to the right, and he puts it on a platter for Ciserone. What a delightful cross that in. Puts McGuire, doesn't know what he's doing, he's coming and going. Ciserone applies the finishing touch. And Sacramento Republic look to be ending Miami's season.
And Russell Cicerone's got to be feeling good. He's got 2 now back-to-back games after 2 months without a goal scored. Perfect time to get right back on the horse and charging in the direction.
Goal scoring's hard, and even for the best in the league, you know, you can go through droughts where it just seems like that goal gets a little bit smaller. But when you're on, it seems like that goal is huge and you can't miss. And so if you get a guy like Russell Cicerone, if he gets hot heading into this playoffs, man, that could be dangerous for the rest of the league.
And now we get 20 minutes left in this game. Miami will start to throw bodies forward. They have to score. They have to tie this game. They're going to leave themselves a little exposed at the back. And with Luther Archimed's energy, he can be guaranteed that he's going to get a couple breakaways. He's going to get through a couple times.
And immediately you kind of look up and, you know, there's 4 Miami players stretched all the way high against the Republic back line. And so I would expect that's what we're going to see here to finish out this half. As you mentioned, they have no other choice. They have to get a point, otherwise they're done. So it might get a little bit even reckless at times, but it's going to be some great entertainment for us, I think.
Luther Archimed just put it forward for Rodrigo Lopez. Several runners. Comes to Jack Gurr. Gurr trying to stay on his feet, finding Lopez again, and just chips it, runs out of options.
Oh, it was such a good opportunity. Roro finds himself in behind, and he had a couple different options there. He decides to cut one back for Jack. I kind of wish he would have tried to swing one in for Russell. He was making that run at the far.
See if they could.
Was exposed for Republic to try to put this one away, and it could be a track meet here for the last 20 minutes of this.
And a couple of changes coming for Sacramento. The next opportunity. Russell Cicerone moments ago with number 15 on the season. Cabral. Here's Jack Gurr, able to come to this one quite easily. Rodrigo Lopez going to maybe send this upfield, try to put somebody in space. It might be Russell Cicerone. Craig is there battling there, and Paco's able to send it back to his goalkeeper, Jake McGuire.
Really well defended by Paco Craig there. Well, that's what Republic are going to do. They're going to absorb the pressure and look to release one of the forwards.
Like Rodrigo Lopez's night may be over, but look at this, 73 minutes, guys.
I mean, here we are at the end of the season. Again, we talked about earlier, we didn't know if we'd see him back this season. 73 minutes in the season finale. Pretty incredible.
There's a lot of things going in the Republic's favor as they get ready for these playoffs. We mentioned Russell Cicerone maybe getting hot again and you know, getting on a streak where he's going to find the net, and then you get who arguably your best player, your captain, back playing significant minutes heading into the most crucial stretch of the season. It's Mark Briggs has got to be really, really happy with where his team sits right now.
Timmer, here's a step by Aid. As Stanley was looking to make a run. Rodrigo Lopez. Good defending by Sacramento. You can see the press coming for Miami. They have no other choice. Playing it forward, Luther Archimed is dragged down. And out comes the yellow card. Afemu and Craig each now with yellow cards. And with the season on the brink, your two center backs are going to have to play a bit careful here in the last 15 plus minutes.
And he got put in a really tough spot. Ben Afemu, they're running behind the Luther Archimed. We spoke about his energy. Pulls him back. If that ball's going a little bit closer towards the goal, that's probably a red card for denial of a goal scoring opportunity, but gets away with a yellow. And Sacramento have a chance from this set piece to double their advantage.
Rodrigo Lopez out of the match. He is replaced by Zico Lewis. And Arnold Lopez will replace Luis Felipe. Couple of players that could be critical here. Off the bench, Archimed, Zico, and Arnold Lopez. It's going to be interesting to see what Mark Briggs does with his midfield. He's got four really good defensive midfielders, and Luis Felipe, Matt LaGrassa, Arnold Lopez, and Nick Ross all healthy, which has been rare this year. All, you could probably say deservedly, should play. You can't play them all, and it's going to be a tough decision for Mark Briggs and his staff. Meanwhile, Jacker, Luther Archimed trying to get to here. Zico! And it was off and the flag was up.
Luther went a little bit too early. That's why he was as free as he was. The referee a little late putting that, the assistant a little late putting the flag up.
See if Miami has some more heroics in them. They have been scrapping and clawing just to get themselves a chance in this final match here. We'll see if they can come out here and get one more final miracle to get themselves into the playoffs.
Well, give credit to Lewis Neal. It seems that he's gotten this whole team to finally buy in. I think if they could make some real key additions next year, this could be a team that ends up in that 4 to 6 range potentially in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, they're focused on 23. Can they level this game and find themselves in the postseason taking on Pittsburgh? Right now, it would be Detroit if this score holds.
An interesting matchup as well. Detroit held Pittsburgh scoreless today. I was in Detroit, a little bit different going to Pittsburgh, but might bode well.
Yeah, you would definitely have to say Miami got the hardest matchup here. The 1 seed in the West on the road. I mean, pretty much couldn't be farther away from home in any away match for them this season. So really, really difficult for them on this final day of the season. But I think they have the belief as you.
Opportunity is Danny Vitiello and company able to snuff it out.
Wow. Just
Quickly.
like that. Just like that, they're right on the doorstep, knocking on the door, and that's what they're going to need. A lot of those dangerous balls, getting in those positions, but they really need to focus on getting more numbers into the box there. They finally get one guy getting across the front, making it difficult for Vitiello, and I think that's Velo getting across the front, or getting it in, playing it out to Murphy, and man, great opportunity there, but they're going to need more of that if they're going to get back in this one.
13 minutes or so. We haven't had a lot of stoppage tonight. And there will be a change coming. It looked like Hernandez will make an appearance, the first substitute for Lewis Neal's side. Luther Archimed, they're going to just spring him forward. See if he can run into some space. Well, he ran out of it. Zico Lewis was sitting open too.
Ball should stay in play.
So Christian Sorno has been one of the more dangerous options in the second half. Will be replaced by Moises Hernandez. So Finley goes by Mo, the Dallas native. Can he come in and make an impact for Miami FC?
Former teammate of mine. I get to chat to him before the game. It's always good seeing people that I played with still playing. It doesn't make me feel as old.
It's easier for Cam. Play in the corner, Aiden Stanley. It wasn't that long ago, Adam. It was what, 3-4 years ago now?
5. No.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, every year it gets longer.
It seems like only yesterday you were on the IR, you know?
Oh, God.
I tell you what, we're speaking about Ironman. The last couple of years in the booth, I've been pretty consistent.
You haven't even showed up with a sore. You haven't showed up with a sore throat even. I've been very proud of you. This ball is going to be driven pretty well across and in. Curling in, opportunity for Miami FC. And 2 more changes as Matt LaGrassa and Lee Desmond are coming into the game. Matt LaGrassa dealing with a bit of a knee issue the last couple of weeks. It's good to see him back off the injured list as he'll come in for Aldair Sanchez. As Sacramento looks a bit more defensive-minded here. And Russell Ciserone is out of the game and Lee Desmond comes in. Oh, Cicerone will stay and Nick Ross will come out of the game instead. Russell was walking over like it was going to be him. Either way, it looks like you'll see Sacramento.
Yeah, the Iron Man Cicerone is going to finish his season with a full 90, so he'll be looking to add to his total of his goals on the year as well.
So Lewis, Cicerone, Archimed, Lee Desmond, Arnold Lopez, Matt LaGrassa, Gurr, Timmer, Donovan, Wheat, and Vidiello in for Sacramento. Murphy, Repetto, Rivas, Hernandez, Cabral, Akinyote, below, Ofemu, Craig, Stanley, and McGuire for Miami FC. Russell Cicerone with the game's lone goal.
In Republic, there's no change in the game between Oakland and El Paso. We'll be hosting New Mexico United here at Heart Health Park next Saturday.
McGuire outside, and now Luther Archimed trying to take it away, nearly does. Good pressure from 17.
It was funny there, the goalkeeper is almost like he got past Archimed and thought he was just going to leave him alone. Clearly hasn't watched enough video of Luther Archimed.
He's also out of the 18. I mean, you sort of become like anybody else at that point in time, and little safeguards start to go away. Rivas trying to stay on his feet. He's been active and I had a wonderful shot early on, but not as many touches in the second half. Danny Vidiello and Jack Gurr each making their 100th appearance in professional play. Cicerone off to Archimed. Luther's onside, get it back to Russell. Russell trying to stay on his feet. He was spinning, he was trying to keep it. Really nice give and go.
It was a good touch from Russell Cicerone. The ball was behind him and he almost manages to bring it back in his track, and he plays it off, gets it back, and he just couldn't quite get the feet right.
It might have taken a deflection. Technically, it was one of the best we've seen. Was able to spin off, cut through 2 defenders.
The first touch on that one was really what truly made it. I mean, that was a touch of class, and then just an absolutely unstoppable finish.
We've seen that a few times from it. It's the improvisation, you know, and even going for the back heel there. It's a little cheeky, but that's all he could really do. And in this run, the last couple months that the last month or so, Republic have been on, Larasa couldn't get that through. What they've done much better that they did at the start of the year is get clean sheets. And so many to start the season really eluded them for that middle patch, and now we're seeing 4, 5?
4 of their last 6.
4 of the last 6. That is.
This would be 5 if they can get this one.
That is how you want to head into the playoffs. Be a team that's really, really tough to score against, which we know they are. They're #1 in the league with goals against.
Jack Kerr just taking this one, and one of the staff members on the side almost took one to the face. Ciserone tracking this one down. Ofemu. Zico Lewis in a tight space, able to get it back to Gurr. Now he's making the run over his shoulder. Very difficult to do. To keep your high ball and continue that run, and need a nice job. Hernandez is able to clear it. It's a corner kick for Sacramento.
Yeah, really good piece of play there. Zico able to get in behind, but Hernandez with a really good recovery to knock that one out. And the Republic have looked really dangerous on some corners tonight, so let's see if they can finally break through on one of these.
7th corner kick of the evening for Sacramento, just 1 for Miami. Archimed making a run, near post, tries a flick. Fairly difficult, but Sacramento able to get retention here and going through the legs. Shane Wheat showing a bit of skill. Back line guys getting in on the offensive side tonight, aren't they, Ken?
Very cheeky for a center back there. Between him and that strike from Timmer earlier today, those guys are looking to shine.
Russell Ciserone, 69th minute, 15 on the year. First assist for Nick Ross on the season. Does have 2 goals and has put himself into the starting 11 with his play over the last couple of weeks. Zico Lewis has found a bit of space tonight too. So good on one-on-one plays, and to drive this one, looking for Archimed, just doesn't get it high enough. But here comes Matt LaGrassa. Love to see Matt flying around, local kid who's been injured last several weeks. Akinyote disagrees. Russell Ciserone waiting for it, takes it off the chest. Russell to his right. Russell is brought down maybe a bit too soft. It's Baku Craig. There's Lee Desmond also back. Lee Desmond also brings you a bit of versatility in the postseason. He's played up in this position where Domi and Alder have typically, we've seen him, but he also can play in the back line, and he's been quite good. Just unfortunately, a couple of injuries this year have slowed him up again.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's a lot of mention of this player's done this and unfortunately been slowed by injury. But again, it's a testament to this team and the entire roster and the depth of it, that there has been so many guys that have missed stretches of time due to little knocks and for some significant injuries, and to still be in this place. And again, Mark Briggs has a really good problem on his hands. It seems like the whole roster is pretty much getting healthy in time for the playoffs.
And there hasn't been drop-off. I mean, you see different players stepping up, growing in their roles. I mean, Keko with a brilliant season, and without Rodrigo Lopez for most of the year, that was what they thought Rora would be, and Keko's been all that and more this year. 8 assists, putting him right at the top of assist leaders in the USL Championship.
Yeah, it's a testament to the depth of the roster, but also the versatility of the players on the roster. You have a lot of guys that can fill into different roles, and so if this guy goes out, maybe a guy that was in a certain role can slide over, and then you bring somebody else off the bench. And so that sort of versatility goes a really long way over the course of the long season as well.
Sacramento here with a goal leading Miami FC. They are perfect against the Eastern Conference this year. 6 wins. Well, this would be 6 wins, I should say. 6 draws, 0 losses. And 2 of those on the road at Tampa, at Pittsburgh, earning a point from each location. Luther Archimed, is he onside? Appears to be. Angling in, looking for an opportunity, pulls it back out. Matt LaGrassa. You just want Luther to go for it, don't you?
Yeah, the idea was there. Lee Desmond screaming in, looking for an opportunity, but just couldn't quite find him.
Meanwhile, Arnold Lopez, and he was able to deliver to Russell Ciserone, and it's one of the better holding midfielders, no doubt about it. Unable to get a clean strike there and find target. Remains a goal advantage for Sacramento. Not over yet for Miami, but the clock is winding down.
That really should have been 2-0 with Archimed going for goal himself, or just the final pass to Lee Desmond.
Timmer, and we'll draw the foul against Kyle Murphy. Here in about 3 minutes potentially here of stoppage time in Sacramento. Still hope for Miami FC fans. Meanwhile, Detroit hoping this is the quickest 30 minutes and that there are no more goals.
There's been a goal in one of the other games. San Diego Loyal have taken the lead against Las Vegas Lights, so that, if it stands, puts San Antonio down at that 4th spot.
Zico Lewis playing it to Cicerone. Can he find a brace? Yeah, just off the mark. Oh, that was so close. Half the crowd thinks it went in. Unfortunately, it was just behind the net.
Bit of an optical illusion from this angle where it screams against the net. You think he just snuck that inside the post. Unfortunately, just a touch wide.
When you can hear the conversations, what happened? What's going on?
There's still a few fans thought that was a goal.
That's
Still
right.
celebrating down there. They're excited. And he was not far away from doubling his tally for the night. Cicerone just wrong side of the post.
Archimed. And his whole bench is telling him to slow it up and put it in the corner. You know he didn't want to. Zico Lewis. Killing the clock isn't fun, but securing 3 points is, right?
Absolutely. It's, you know, there's some disappointed fans around the stadium that were hoping he'd go to goal and look to make this one 2-0, but the prudent play here is to keep the ball.
Or Jacker playing it across the face, sailing wide. It'll find Russell Cicerone eventually. But again, Sacramento holding possession. Miami season on the brink. Public relentless in that first 20 minutes of this game. A couple of great scoring opportunities, unable to break through, but finally, nearing the 70th minute, Russell Cicerone finds it.
And for me, this Miami roster, they just look exhausted out there right now. I think all of the last couple of weeks are starting to catch up with them. The travel, everything we talked about, it's a tough ask for them. And unfortunately, I think, well, like literally, the clock is going to strike midnight on the East Coast. So
I think you're right, 6 minutes away. And they put themselves in a good position to even be here the last 4 games. Hats off to them and their resiliency for not giving up. As this will be headed back to Danny Vidiello. What a year he has had. And if this holds, this would be another shutout. At number 11 on the season. And ultimately, he would win the Golden Glove race as well. So what a season he has put into the books. And Carlos Saldana, to his credit, has been fantastic as well. 2 quality goalkeepers for Sacramento. Meanwhile, Miami trying to find a last-ditch effort. Jacker. Luther Archimed's offside. So if Sacramento is able to hold on. This would be a new club record for goals. 26 goals allowed. Be a best for a Republic team in 10 seasons. Meanwhile, still work to do there. Jared Timmer and company trying to keep Miami away. Zico Lewis doing what he can, and there is the final whistle. Sacramento will go to 64 points, become the #2 overall seed in the USL Championship. Unfortunately for Miami, their season is over. They battled the last several weeks to get to this point, but unfortunately, the boys from South Beach will call it a year. And the Sacramento Republic will be right back a week from today to start the first round of the Western Conference USL Championship playoffs.
And it's a big 3 points as well for Sacramento. And that man, Danny Vitiello, man of the match, Golden Glove winner. Another clean sheet for him. Fantastic season since coming to this Republic side.
Very, very well deserved. Actually, tonight he actually didn't have a whole lot to do, right? I mean, I don't know how many total saves he made, but Miami weren't super threatening, but certainly deserves the man of the match, I think, just for the effort all season long. Securing the Golden Glove tonight. I believe the first Republic player ever to get that award.
Yep, and 22 now shutouts for Danny Vitiello in his career. The all-time leader in shutouts in a Sacramento Republic uniform. Congratulations to Vitiello and the entire Republic team here on a fantastic regular season. Now the real work begins. More on that after the break. Don't go away. Sacramento take the victory here at home, 1-0 over Miami.
The fun has begun. The Apex at Red Hawk Resort Casino is now Northern California's premier family fun destination. Get your heart racing on this spectacular 3-level indoor kart track. If bowling is up your alley, there are 18 lanes of fun at the Apex, plus a mind-blowing virtual reality arcade, incredible golf simulators, and one of the best sports bars anywhere. We're taking entertainment to a whole new level. It's the Apex at Red Hawk Resort Casino.
This is the look of a boy who had no hope of walking. A boy who had his spine rebuilt before he was born. A boy who now stays on his feet and keeps mom on her toes. UC Davis Health. From the extraordinary to the routine, we're discovering healthy and changing real people's lives right here in the Sacramento region. UC Davis Health. Discovering healthy.
Mark Briggs has led this team to a first place in the Western Conference and the #2 best record in all of the USL Championship with 64 points. One better than Tampa Bay, who is the third best club, but just a few behind Pittsburgh, who has his shield at 67. But for Sacramento, it was a night they came out aggressive, treated this like a playoff game, and Russell Ciserone 9 out of 10 times, probably scoring this one, Cam.
Yeah, he was dangerous all night and almost got this thing off to a bang really early. A little bit of a misplayed ball there from McGuire, ball back in from Sanchez, and he's right on the doorstep and ultimately really unlucky just not to get that one in.
And then 2 minutes later, Rodrigo Lopez, some movement on this. McGuire does a really good job keeping it close to his body because Cicerone's lurking. And then this man, we thought that was going to be in, and he was agonizingly close. But 0-0, first half.
So still for life for Miami going into the second half of play, and they would start to find some rhythm, and Sorto probably feels this could have been it. Danny Vitiello had it covered pretty well, but a really good turn by Christian Sorto.
I think when he looks back at the end of his night, he's going to want that one back. He did everything right except the final touch there, and then here's the moment of magic. Nick Ross gets in, just you can't put a better ball in the box, and Russell Cicerone screaming across the front, gets his head on it, and that was enough to secure all 3 points tonight.
Another gritty performance by Russell Ciserone, played in every single Republic match here in 2023. 15 shots for Sacramento again. They get 3 points, doesn't matter, only goal was needed was 1, but you felt like there probably could have been a couple more tonight. But you liked that we saw minutes from Christian Perano, Rodrigo Lopez, Matt LaGrassa back in, so I feel like there's a lot of positives to take away from tonight. More so than ever, Western Conference champions, you're going in now on a 2-game win streak. Most likely, Adam, looks like it's gonna be New Mexico.
Yes, it's not quite the final whistle in Oakland, but as it stands, this is how it will be. Any moment now, that should be confirmed. Unless Oakland Roots can tie that game up against El Paso, it looks like Sacramento's going to be playing New Mexico United here at home.
So Orange County and San Diego both with a goal lead as they stand. They would go to 57 points. Orange County has the tiebreaker. So that's why San Antonio could fall all the way to 4 and would take on Colorado Springs Switchbacks at home. A very dangerous team, and I don't think that's a very good matchup for San Antonio. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Eastern Conference. It will be Detroit City. They had their eyes on this one. Probably the biggest Russell Ciserone fans on the evening coming from Detroit. Congratulations to them getting into the playoffs for the first time.
Yeah, and devastation for Miami. They had everything to play for coming in here. Such a tough place to come, in Sacramento, on the road, final game of the season. And you could see it on the field. The Miami players all sprawled out after the final whistle, devastated after all the effort they put in over the last month or two to get to this position, for it to fall apart on the last day of the season. Really, really tough.
So will the playoffs look the way they do, or will San Antonio climb back up if Las Vegas can find a way, or Monterey Bay find a goal? It'll be a different shakeup by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. Sacramento win this one. I want to thank our entire crew here, for our producer Ava Ponte, for Cameron Iwasa and Adam Moffat. I'm Rob McAllister. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Sacramento take all 3 points, 64 on the year. Unfortunately for Miami, their season is over. For the Republic going to the playoffs on a streak. See you next Saturday right here at 7 o'clock.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.